What if you do not want to deal with changing lenses? What if you just need one lens which should be able to do it all? Be it taking YouTube videos, be it taking family videos, be it going to your school function of your kids wherein you're sitting 4 rows behind and you want to take the picture or the video of the play going on. Or maybe a zoo trip wherein the animals are not very far but you still want to have those pictures while you are away from them. So in the arsenal of Sony lenses for full frame cameras, does Sony have something which can do it all, something which just fits this purpose? In this video, we are going to talk about the 24-105 f4 lens from Sony and see if that is the lens which you can use for almost every purpose you need. So let's get on with it after a short intro.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like it's takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude.
In today's video, we are talking about 24-105 f4 Sony lens. In the box, you'll get this leather case, and inside the leather case, you will get the lens with the lens hood as well as the lens cap. I know. This is not a new lens. This lens was actually released in 2017. Now, the good thing about lenses is that lenses last you for a long time. It might be 5 to 10 years. The only thing which you might have to change over a period of time will be the body because of the new features coming into autofocus and the new things which come with changing technology. But as far as the glass is concerned, the glass will always work for you because all the other functions are in the camera. So let's talk about this lens. Now this is a OSS lens with a focal range of 24-105 and is also f4 constant aperture, which means that it should be able to work with almost all lighting situations. It might not work with very low lights, but it can still support even if you're shooting in night with some kind of lighting. The lens is a G lens, which means that it will be pretty sharp, and the lens has autofocus and manual focus toggle button, which means that you can switch to manual focus. I don't use manual focus at all because I'm not a professional, but it's good for people who know how to use manual focus. Now it also gives you the option of OSS, which is optical steady shot, which means that this can work very well with your IBIS or even non-IBIS cameras, and the shots will be stable, which is a must-have thing, especially if you're doing videos. The lens does come out when you zoom in, which means that there are chances if you're using a grip which is not very good, it might nosedive, but other than that, it's pretty neat. I really wished it could have those tactile sounds of tick tick, but yeah, it's just a smooth zoom in function, so it works fine. The lens is generally sold in Australia for $1,400 to $1,500, but I got it for around 1,100 Australian dollars on a cashback discount. So having said that, now let's try this lens and see whether it is that do-it-all lens we're looking for. So right now I'm shooting on my 20mm 1.8 lens. I'm not going to change any lighting condition, and I'm going to switch over to this lens and then we'll take it from there. So now I have switched the lenses and we are on 24-105, and I'm using f4 right now to record this video. The zoom lenses like this have their own advantage when it comes to these kind of talking head videos. I do get it that this lens doesn't have a wide aperture like 1.8, so there'll be less background bokeh. But one of the problems which you will have with the prime lenses is that if you want to reduce what you want people to see in the background, you'll have to move the camera up and down or at the back, or you have to bring it near you, or you yourself have to move. But with the zoom lenses, what you can do is you can simply rotate the ring, and I can now go to 50, and straight away you can see that you can't see much at the background. Now let's go back to 24 and I'll talk to you about everything else. Now why this is useful is It's okay when it comes to your house, you know where the things are, and even if you're shooting at 20 mm, you can simply go ahead and reduce the background by zooming in the post. But when you're in a hotel or when you're at places wherein you don't have enough room to maneuver the camera, then the zoom lenses really come into picture. And second, now with the zoom lens you can zoom in and you can exactly see before shooting what is in the frame, while when you are actually doing it in the post, you will be constrained with only few things, because you might want to have some things and then you are seeing a lot of things coming. So that's where I think, as far as talking head videos is concerned, zoom lenses are pretty good, and this one I really like because it's pretty sharp. And yes, I do have less bokeh, but I can live with that as long as the cost is reasonable. So now it's time to check the vlogging part of it. So is this a good lens for vlogging? I will not say so. This will not be my favorite lens for vlogging. Although the 24 mm I think is fine, even if you bend your arm, you're still in the frame and you do have things showing up at the back. Unfortunately, I can't go out because Sydney is in lockdown, but I think you'll get an idea. But the problem is the weight of this setup. The lens itself is around 663 grams, or I think 650 or thereabouts, and if you add the weight of the body, the cage and the microphone, we are looking at around 1.30 kg, which is pretty heavy. I'm not really surprised that the Sony grip is able to handle this absolutely fine, even though it is pretty near to its limit of 1.4 kg. So can you do vlogging with it? Yes, you can, and I think 24 mm is good enough for vlogging. Can you do it for long time or long hours? I don't think so, because you will have to put this camera down time to time, because you're talking to a setup of around 1.3 or 1.4 kg. But if you're able to put your Sony grip on something like I am doing right now on my kitchen slab, then the vlogging will work without any issues. The close-up is pretty good. You can take the close-up shot as long as you're just feet away from the camera, and this works well. And you also don't have to carry the heavy weight. So can you do vlogging with it? Yes, you can, but you'll have to do workarounds because you basically can't hold it for long. Although we can't go out right now because of the Sydney lockdown, but I can still go to my balcony and there's a church which I can see from there, and we'll just try to zoom in and see how the pictures are and how the zoom works from 24 to 105. So let's do that. So now let's just talk about pros and cons of this lens. So let's talk about the pros first. Because this lens starts from 24, it is not bad for vlogging. As we saw in the test, you can still vlog, might not be for long durations, but still 24 works for vlogging with f4. The second plus is it works really well for talking head videos. You might be at different places, like I said before, a hotel, home or a studio. When you want to make the video, a zoom lens allows you to adjust the frame without moving the camera, because you have the option of adjusting focal length with you, and you can see exactly what you will like to have in your final cut before you even start the video. Unlike the prime lenses, wherein you either have to move the camera frequently to adjust the frame, or have to do it in post, where you cannot do much as you have to live with the footage you have already shot. So now the third and perhaps one of the best thing about this lens is the constant f4 aperture, which just means that you will have consistent light coming into the camera or the lens no matter at which zoom length you are shooting. For example, from 24 to 105, no matter whether you are on 35, 50, 70 or 105, the aperture will remain the same, which means the camera will allow the same amount of light to come in, which generally doesn't happen with the zoom lenses. Now I've seen this firsthand that this camera does work very well, or this lens for that matter works very well even with low lighting, because I shot an entire event with this lens, and I will put the link of that event in the description. Now the next good thing about this lens is the cost of this lens. Now this is a very good bargain, because I've seen that this lens is generally on sale, and in Australia you get it for around $1,200 to $1,300 almost all the time, and in US it will be less than $1,000. For that money you're getting a range of 24mm to 105 with f4, which I think is pretty good. The last but not the least good thing about the lens is that it is dust and moisture resistant. So if you're shooting in India, or say some place which is dusty, or if there is even a drizzle, this lens should work fine. So now let's talk about the things which I do not like about this lens. The only con I do see in this lens is that it's a bit heavy, and minimum focus distance is of around 1.25 feet. This is not great for vlogging. So now the answer of that question which we begin this video with, is this the do-it-all perfect lens? If you ask me, I will not say that this is perfect do-it-all lens, but I will say that this is a lens which is jack of all. So right now if you see the Sony Arsenal and the way the lenses are priced, I think this is at a sweet spot. It lets you do whatever you want to do if you are one of those who do not want to change lenses. So if you don't want to change lenses, I'll say go for it. But as far as I'm concerned, this is my second lens, the first being the 20mm Sony 1.8. And I think now it covers me for everything. That lens I'm going to use for vlogging or my travel videos, and this most probably will be my favorite talking head video or a zoom lens. So guys, do let me know in the comment section if you think there is some other lens in the Sony's arsenal which is a better or a perfect do-it-all lens, or maybe even a jack of all. If you have stayed till here and you liked the video, do consider subscribing, hitting that like button as well as the bell notification icon, so that you are notified when I put more videos. In this channel, I share my travel vlogs, reviews as well as experiences. So if you want to be part of the journey, you already know what to do. Every subscription means a lot to me, because my subscribers are my sponsors. So that is it for this one. See you in the next one. Rub Rak.